All right, this is going to be a quick video on how to take down the takedown pins for the Springfield Hellcat. So these three takedown pins right here, okay? It's going to be how to take them out and replace them with whatever else you got. It's very nice and simple. It's pretty easy to do. All right, so first things first, empty the magazine, put it to the side as always. Make sure the chamber is clear and safe to handle, which it is. We're going to take apart, field strip this gun, so bring back, lock the slide. Rotate your takedown pin 90 degrees, release the slide, pull the trigger through, and we're going to separate the upper from the lower. We are only going to be working on the lower right here, okay? So we're going to be focusing on these three takedown pins right here. So let's start with the thicker one right here. It's very nice and easy. All you're going to need is a hole pin punch. It's a 3/32 hole pin punch. All right, it can be a roll pin, hole punch, whatever you got, flat one, whatever. And if you don't even have one of these, you can find anything else that's kind of like flat at the end that you can use to press that out. But yeah, honestly, I would just get some hole pin punches because they're a good investment. And you do not need a gun block, but it is helpful to have one because you can put it over the hole and just push it down. If you don't have one, just use your hands like this and you're gonna push it through. All right, just be careful that you don't have something that's gonna scratch it. Like if you use a flathead or something, you're gonna scratch up your gun. You know, so just, yeah, try to find a hole punch. All right, so nice and simple. If you got a block, use that. If you do not, have a roll of duct tape and put that over there. That way the pin will fall in there. And all you're gonna do is you're just gonna start pushing in here. Use your thumb, just like this. Push down, push all the way through, and it will fall through just like that. All right, so this is the first hole pin punch right there. It's literally that simple, just to push it out like that. All right, now you can replace it with whichever one you've got. And what I do recommend, actually, especially if you're getting a new one, you want to put just a little bit of oil onto your new takedown pin. All right, you don't need a lot, just a little. I'm gonna get that out, and so yeah, you just want just a touch of oil, and put it around with your fingers just like that. Any excess, wipe off on a cloth, whatever you got. And you're gonna put this back in. All right, it's that simple. And once you push it back in, you'll hear a click. All right, you can check on both sides to verify that it's flush on both sides. If one's sticking on more than the other, just push it back in that way. Okay, now if your new takedown pin is having trouble to fit in there, it could be one of two things. All right, so you've got your slide release right here, and you have your trigger right here. Now, if you look down the hole, can't quite see with this GoPro, but if you physically look down your hole on your own gun, you'll see that if you move the slide left and right, it's gonna affect the hole here. And if you move your trigger up and down, it's gonna affect the hole here. All right, so what you have to do is you have to move your trigger and move the slide release so it's opened up as much as possible. And then once you see that you have the biggest opening you've got, you hold your trigger, then you grab your takedown pin, you push it in. All right, you'll hear it first click once, and then you want to push it in again and try to push it in and make both sides flush. All right, now if it's brand new and it's still having trouble to get in, just remember, use a bit of gun oil to help it get in there, and then you can gently tap it on a gun bench block or whatever you've got, and you can gently tap it in there with the hole pin punch, and that'll make sure that it sets in place. Okay, and don't worry if for whatever reason you're running into something and it's just not going in after, you know, 2 or 3 hits that are pretty intense. Just come back, take a step back, pull the pin back out, realign the slide release left or right to make that hole as open as possible, then realign the trigger up or down slightly to make that hole as big as possible. Repeat, put the thing back in, push it in, and eventually you'll get it in like clockwork. Okay, these next two, they're very nice and simple. They're a lot easier than the thicker one. So again, just grab your hole punch, push it through, pop it out just like that. There you go. All right, and same as before, if it's a new one, All you do, dab a little gun oil. This is nice and simple, guys. Put that on there. And as you see down this hole, this middle one here, there's nothing to worry about in terms of moving parts. You're literally gonna push it back in, and you're gonna push it in. Hear that click. Give it a little push. And you will hear that little pin to be verified. Double check on the left and the right that it's both flush on both sides, which it is, and it's good to go. Same with the one on the back. You're gonna push that through with your hole punch. It does not matter which side you push it through, but sometimes some guns are more picky to be pushed through the left or the right. So just try both sides, you know, see what you got. And same as before, you're going to grab your new takedown pin, whichever one you have after you clean it, whatever. You're gonna wipe it with a bit of oil, and you're gonna just feed it in there, okay? Now, for example, this one has a hard time coming in the left, so I'm gonna pull it out, and I'm gonna come in from the right side, all right? Now, once it's there, you can get your rubber little hammer, whatever you got, give it a few little taps, just like that, and then push it in with your pin till you hear a little click. Just like that. I can see that it's sticking out a little bit here still, and it's not flush on this side, so I'm going to give this a little bit more force to push down. There we go. I heard the click. Now I'm just double checking. Flat, flat, everything's flush. And that is literally that simple, guys. You just replace them one by one. And like I said before, just a little tips. If you're having trouble for getting them in, these two, you just, obviously all three, you want to make sure you add just a little bit of gun oil. It helps your process a lot. And then these two, they're slightly different sizes. So when you take one out one by one, just measure and put it next to your new ones and make sure you're putting in the correct ones. It's very straightforward. They're not going to fit if it's the wrong one, okay? So just double check that they're the same size. For the big one, the main one here, if it's not fitting, again, gun oil. And two, double check your slide release, move it left and right, make that hole open, use your trigger, make sure that's open, and then push it in, feed it through. If it's not coming in through one side, swap it around, try the other side, take your time, pull it back out, redo it. Honestly, you'll get the hang of your gun. Every gun's a little different, but it's very straightforward to change your takedown pins, all right? So once you've done that, we are going to put our slide back on top and lock it back, release the takedown lever, release the slide, and you are good to go. That is how to take your takedown pins out and replace them, change them back out, swap them, whatever you want to do. All right. If this video was helpful for you, please just give it a like. And as always, stay safe, stay locked and loaded, and above all else, stay armed with truth, knowledge, and wisdom. Till the next video, guys, peace.